All right, guys, welcome to the WAN show, where we are halfway through actually being set up for the show, but I figured, you know what? I had better just start this in spite of the color being completely wonky. There we go. Fixing the lighting live here for your viewing pleasure. That is to say, your pleasure that gets better as the viewing experience goes on, because it started out completely incomplete. Can something be completely incomplete? Or if it was completely incomplete, would it just be nothing?
What?
So it was completely incomplete. I'm just stalling for time, Brandon. I'm clearly stalling for time. Don't question it. It's not helpful. All right, let me get the dock up here. We got... Oh, that was awful. I apologize sincerely to our loyal Twitch viewers out there who I'm sure were not real pleased with that noise. You have Pella to thank. He's a jerk, so there's that. He's not actually a jerk. He's very nice. Mild-mannered even. I would go that far as to call him mild-mannered. We've got a lot of great topics for you guys today. Pewdiepie vows to delete his channel at 50 million subscribers. JK doesn't delete his channel. Steam users enraged over Intel exclusive content in-game. Wow. It's like, who thought that one was going to end well? Nobody, I hope. Ubisoft executives fined 1.2 million for insider trading during Watch Dogs. And South Korea makes game modding illegal. That's right, my friends. Illegal game modding. So let's go ahead and roll the intro, which I am fairly certain is not going to work properly, but I'm over it. Look at that. Look at that slow guy. I have no idea what's causing this. It's like a complete and utter mystery. I tried a different video format and like it was playing in real time, but then it would just jump around. So that's not actually that much better. Hey, John, we're live. I don't know where John is, but John's going to be joining me pretty quick here. I might even go get a chair for him. We'll see. Pella's going to get a chair for him. Mild-mannered Pella. Oh, wow. Yeah, not powered by Razer Comms is a very old intro. Red. And then what else? Who else is sponsoring the show today? Wait, hold on a second. Mack Weldon is a sponsor today? Okay, well, I will have to. So this is what happens when Colton's not here for one day. We tease Colton a lot, but he's basically the glue that holds this entire operation together. And he's the kind of person who's organized enough to go, gee, there's a Mack Weldon spot on the WAN show today. Maybe we should ensure that there are Mack Weldon shirts for the hosts.
Can I unplug that Ethernet?
Do you need to?
Seems like John.
John
No.
will survive. He will survive.
That I will.
Oh, as long as he knows how to love, he'll always be alive.
My car sucks in the snow, and it's snowing here.
Yeah, well, you drive a Mustang. I'm not sure what you were expecting. What does your car not suck at? It is, after all, American-made.
What a troll.
Oh, and the shots fired is coming early on the show today. Here, you gotta.
As he's pulling me.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, as I'm
being pulled. Okay, hold on.
Okay. All right. So I think since we're starting a little bit late, we are going to jump right into our first topic. There's actually a lot of great topics this week. Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas Light.
Are we doing a...
You are the light of my life. I don't know any other people with the last name Light, so you kind of want it by default.
Are we doing an on-air shirt change?
I'm going to change mine on air, but I'm going to carefully do it without showing my nips because that's not allowed. Due to Twitch's terms of service. So I'm just gonna...
No shirtless dudes on Twitch?
No shirtless dudes on Twitch. No shirtless anyone, because Twitch is about equality.
Mm-hmm.
So if women can't be shirtless, then men can't be shirtless, and that's just the way it's going to be. To which I would say No, I'm not going to say anything. So hold on, let me just get my laptop in the way here.
Yeah, sometimes it's better not to say anything.
Am I allowed to show bare shoulders? I know nips aren't allowed. This is where I know the line definitely exists. Yeah, we need those censor things. That wasn't a nip. That was just a weird mole I have on my chest.
It's true.
Okay, there we go. So why is the show late today? Just kidding. Nobody asked. But just in case you were thinking maybe you would ask if you thought that you would get any kind of meaningful answer from me, it is because I was trying to make a hard drive waterproof. Truly an important scientific endeavor for the betterment of all humanity, if there ever was one.
I don't know how many times I've been, at SeaWorld, or not at SeaWorld, but like at a water park or something, and like, you know what I wish I had right now? A 10 terabyte hard drive.
But specifically...
A waterproof one.
Specifically, see? Mm-hmm. 1 for 1, that is 100% of our respondents to our survey.
Let's see. Let's check out the...
That have confirmed that they want a waterproof hard drive.
Can't find anything wrong with that logic.
So there you go. That's what I was working on. Did I succeed or did I not succeed? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned for the video. I don't think you're going to have to wait that long, though, because we're a little bit behind on filming. So there you go. All right. So the original poster here was Ali Zaidi 2000 on the forum. And, of course, there's a gigantic Forbes ad before I can look at the article. The original article is from Forbes.com. Pewdiepie trolls everyone, doesn't actually delete his YouTube channel. Did anyone think he was going to delete his YouTube channel? Taryn apparently
at least a couple people here did. I'm not going to name names, but some folks did.
Taryn, you are so friggin' gullible. He does this kind of crap all the time. He did not know that, apparently.
He didn't know that.
I mean, I don't even watch his content. I knew that. That's just embarrassing. Okay, maybe we can get centered at some point here. I think you keep drifting. Is it like my personal magnetism? Like I'm a positive and you're a positive, so it's like a...
I'm not a positive.
A repulsive magnetism?
I've worked here for a year and a half. You know I'm not a positive.
You have your positive moments.
I appreciate that, Linus.
So basically, he made a video, called the video Deleting My Channel at 50 Million, said he would delete his channel once he hit 50 million subscribers. He actually offered some fairly plausible sounding logic for it. Mm-hmm. Something along the lines of... I started up another channel and was able to grow it very quickly because I'm that amazing. And that was, I think he called it, Jacksepticeye 2.
Yes.
And the idea behind creating that one was he wanted another gold play button, meaning he now has as many gold play buttons as we do.
Shameless.
Just because...
It's true. What you're saying is true.
Just because we only have 1/15 as many subscribers on our primary channel does not mean that we don't also have 2 golden play buttons. So there's that. Anyway, he actually deleted the Jacksepticeye 2 channel as a way of fulfilling his bargain. Part of the rationale that he was offering up also seems to have to do with some of the algorithmic changes that YouTube has allegedly been making. This has been kind of big news over the last week or 2 plus, depending on how far back you go, because we actually first started complaining about it probably about, let me just see if I can find that email chain that I had going with our YouTube rep. No, that's not it. Well, whatever, I can't find it. But it was, is it this one? I don't know. I think it was about a month ago. Something along those lines, where basically it wasn't that we were observing that the channel was getting crushed outright, but we were observing that in particular our new videos were performing very poorly. And for those of you who were wondering if we were ever going to weigh in on this, I guess I wasn't going to. It wasn't on our topics for today, but I will. So pretty much what happened was our newer videos were not performing very well, and YouTube basically told us, well then get good, noob. And we kind of went, okay. I guess that's pretty much...
We're trying, yeah. That's all you can do.
We really do get up every day and try and get good.
It's absolutely true. My car was even doing this on the roads, and I still got here just so I could get good, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, let's move on to our next topic then. Steam users enraged over. Do you have the dock up? Are you shared on it?
Well, I was, but not on this laptop because it's not my laptop. I did look at it before we started, so I'm familiar with most of these stories at least a little bit.
Oh, so you're one step ahead of me then. Well, what
Sort of.
Google account are you logged into here?
Let's see. I am logged in. Oh, Luke. So there you go.
So that's probably shared on it. Just
Okay.
I do not condone the hijacking of other employees'
I'm using this with permission.
accounts. Are you?
I am.
Oh, good. Okay.
I share an office with Luke. Of course, I talked to him about it.
Well, okay. As long as you
Okay.
guys have a safe word for your sharing. So Steam, man, this was just like complete disaster, start to finish. Posted originally on the forum by Z Mule, and the original article here is from Polygon.com. Who thought this was a good idea? Steam users enraged over Intel exclusive content in game, inspiring quick reversal. And it's more than just there was some content in the game that was exclusive to Intel users. It was actually exclusive to Intel Core i7 users. So here we go. The developers of Arizona Sunshine for the HTC Vive, and the controversy began over two pieces of content in-game. Okay, so the controversy over the two pieces of content began with a post on the game's Steam page asking why one machine the player owned could play the Horde mode in single player and the other could not. So the developer explained that the Horde setting and Apocalyptic mode were locked to machines running Core i7s until March of next year. We're talking a 3-month exclusivity period for buying a Core i7. Thoughts?
So I can see that this was not mentioned at all to anybody before the release of the game. So which direction was the deception in? Did they advertise all the content, but then everyone found out, oh, you have to have an i7? Or was it the other way around where they didn't advertise whatever the extra content was, but then if you have an i7, you found out after the fact, hey, there's all this extra stuff all of a sudden? I don't know if that matters a whole lot either way, but I could see people being extremely upset if they were promised something that they just weren't given.
So from my mind, I see your point, but I actually don't really think that it matters.
Yeah, it's deception like either way. So
not even if it's deception, it's just a really bad precedent. I mean, you look at how upset the gaming community gets over stuff like NVIDIA GameWorks, where NVIDIA is legitimately going out and building tools that game developers can use, like kind of copy paste. I'm simplifying it obviously, but can copy paste into their game for some fire effect or some hair effect or whatever the case may be. Look at how upset people are about the very idea of a piece of gaming content not being platform agnostic at all.
especially the fact they weren't open about it.
And here, here, the message is even worse. So Vertigo Games responded, working with Intel allowed us to create even more content than we originally planned, including these modes and the physics systems in the game, making Arizona Sunshine one of the richest VR experiences possible. Which is just another way of saying Intel handed us 3 big bags of money, and we invested those into our game, and we agreed to lock down the game, well, at least parts of the game, for Core i7 users only, entirely artificially in exchange for aforementioned money. Now, if we're talking about a feature that they implemented that straight up wouldn't work on other hardware, so something like PhysX,
Yeah.
where it's just like, mind you, okay, PhysX is another sort
Yeah.
of...
Or like
it could. It just
HD,
doesn't.
like HDR10. Like there are some things that just don't, like there's some hardware that just does not support it.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Outputting HDR10
Sure,
to
yeah.
an HDR display. Sorry, that's only going to work on the latest Polaris GPUs and NVIDIA 10 series.
Yeah, but this is more
It's
like
an HDMI output limitation.
right. This is more like just an artificial limitation on purpose.
And
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like, I've had conversations with people at Intel where, and actually, you know what, I'm probably at liberty to talk about it because the person in question is no longer working there.
You're going to go with probably?
I'm going to go with probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with probably.
Okay.
I mean, you're not legally allowed to counsel me up here anyway. So,
I'm not. That's
yeah.
that's absolutely true.
Yeah,
So-
you're going to have to pass a whole different bar for that. So I have had conversations with Intel where this guy, and I don't know where he got it from, but was insisting to me that a Core i7 was the best VR experience. To which I replied, I mean, maybe, in a completely immeasurable way, because a Core i5, like a latest generation Core i5, especially going back, I mean, they enabled it for 5th, 6th, and 7th generation Core i7, so you even have to go back a generation. So especially the latest generation Core i5, I guarantee you, is going to run a game, any game on the market right now, just as well as the latest generation Core i7.
You don't need 8 threads
No,
to game. You
do
just
not.
don't. You just don't.
Not yet. Maybe in time. But as it stands now, a Core i5 6600K will perform just as well as a 6950X in pretty much any game. Now, I believe there may be some exceptions. City Skylines scales a little better.
It scales a little bit better, but it's not. The difference is like a couple of frames. It's not ridiculous.
It's not the difference between unplayable and the richest VR experiences possible. That's not what happens there. So fans revolted, most asking why this hadn't been mentioned before launch. Vertigo Games then basically ran to Intel and went, yo, this is actually causing more problems than the money could possibly compensate for. We really need to undo this because it's bad PR for you too. Then they went back to the gamers, apologized, and unlocked the locked modes for all players.
This reminds me a little bit of something that Intel did. I think it was about a decade ago, maybe a little bit longer, when they actually wrote their own compiler for programmers. I don't think a ton of people were using it, but they found out later on it would only take advantage of certain CPU instruction capabilities if it was an Intel processor the system was running, even if it was AMD, and even if the AMD chip supported these instruction sets, it just wouldn't run, and there was a huge controversy over that, I remember, and they were legally required to put a disclaimer on. So yeah, it just reminded me of that a little bit, I guess. So
yeah, I mean, this is, like, I don't think it's quite, I mean, okay, the fact that it's not disclaimed very well is really, really crummy, but at least they aren't handicapping the performance of someone else's system. Like, at least they didn't have the game developer use, like your example, use a compiler that's going to make the game run worse on other things. They just soft locked it.
They're also just like completely like denying people content though. So, you know, I guess it just depends on your perspective, but
yeah,
definitely not good.
I mean, one way or another, neither of us thinks it's good. Neither of us is pleased. Neither were the gamers, and you have to give at least a little bit of credit where credit is due. At least they came out, reversed the decision, and now everyone has access to the content. I just figured out why not very many people are watching WAN Show today. It seems to be related to the fact that I forgot to record an intro for the show and upload it to YouTube. So bear with me one moment.
You're doing it now?
Go watch the WAN Show, twitch.tv/LinusTech. I forgot to do this before the show, so I'm actually recording this during the show, but it's 4x3 for some reason. Don't worry too much about that. Just watch the show. It'll be great. Twitch.tv/LinusTech. John's helping.
Hi.
Yes, so if you want to lead our next topic, I'm going to go ahead and upload that to YouTube.
Okay.
Because I derped.
Do you care what order I do these things in or not?
I do not care.
Okay, so next topic. So South Korea has effectively made game modding illegal. So they've passed an amendment into law with the intent of shutting down video game hacks and modifications. And based on the law, manufacture or distribution of programs that are not allowed by a game company or its terms of service or actually against the law. So this includes aimbotters, hacking programs, scripters, basically anything that's not allowed by the terms of service. The punishment for this is actually, it's theoretically pretty steep. 5 years of jail time or the equivalent of $43,000 in fines. Part of this is in response to hacking communities for certain games, particularly Overwatch. Hacking is running rampant with Overwatch in South Korea. So Blizzard has been trying to take its own action against players that are doing the hacks, but now with this, they're also going to have the full backing of the South Korean government. So, thoughts on that?
So, okay. On the one hand, do I believe that being a jackass online should have real-world consequences when you are, and if you really break it down, when you are effectively wasting someone else's money? You are robbing them of enjoying something that they paid for. No, you're not stealing it from them. You're not like stealing their game. But let's say, for example, someone bought a TV and they brought it home and they put it in their living room and they wanted to, please don't ride a bicycle in the warehouse for the love of everything that is good. Oh, why do I have to say these things?
Safety meeting.
Safety meeting, yeah.
Safety
Safety meetings, okay? First Monday of every month. Like, I actually have to do that by law, speaking of laws. Safety meetings. Anyway.
Gotta be safe.
What am I even talking about? Okay. So I see it as akin to someone, your neighbor buying a brand new cool TV, and he goes to watch Breaking Bad or something on it, and you go over, you barge into his house, and you stand in front of it, and you go, and you get all like cross-eyed and obnoxious because you haven't taken his TV.
But you're depriving him of enjoying it and
Something
using
he paid
it.
for. So I think being an asshat should have real consequences when it impacts the lives and the quality of life of other people. On the flip side, government backing of EULAs?
Well, this isn't even that. This is much more than government backing of a EULA, because if you violate a EULA, let's say you're playing Overwatch or StarCraft or whatever, you do something that violates the TOS. So at least in the U.S., and I'm sure South Korea, there's civil remedies in South Korea too, but you go to court and you say, oh, well, this person violated the TOS, that's why we kicked them off, and now there's litigation about it, but that's your usual remedy. It's a contract remedy. You can kick people off for violating the TOS.
That's right.
So in that sense, there already is government backing, but we're not just, now they're taking it out of the realm of private law and civil courts, and we're saying we're going to come, like law enforcement will come after you and you could go to jail, which is just on a completely different level. So. Right,
and we're talking about, going to, so presumably this is another gamer, maybe even a gamer So let's say you're buddies and you're being a jerk and using an aimbot or whatever else. So this is akin to you being at your buddy's house going in front of the TV and him calling the cops and them not just saying, yo, leave, but them arresting you. What was it? A 5-year sentence, potentially?
Up to 5 years.
Putting you in jail for up to 5 years and finding you the equivalent of like $45,000.
Yeah.
So if you take it to the real world being a jerk example, you can see how this is the wrong way to behave and there should be consequences. But you can also see how, given the, would you say my example is fairly parallel?
It's good. I mean, I was actually having a conversation about an unrelated issue with someone earlier today about this, that there's plenty of things that are frankly just dick moves in society, but that we don't criminalize. We say this is bad and there might be some consequence for this, but we're not going to necessarily chuck you in a jail cell for it.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is, public urination, okay?
Well, that actually is against the law. But,
it is against the law, but they throw you in the drunk tank for overnight or whatever, and they let you out.
But
It's not a 5-year sentence.
well, sometimes some places put you on the sex offense registry for that. So you're in there
Okay.
with like the child molesters and stuff. and there's a big
Maybe
controversy
public
over that.
urination's a bad
I understand
example.
what you're trying to say, though.
Okay, let's
I
talk
do,
about
yeah.
like graffiti then. Okay, so graffiti is
Okay,
a similar.
sure.
You are not
Yeah.
not making it so someone's building doesn't function anymore.
Yeah, it's just not a nice thing to do.
You're wasting their time and potentially wasting their money,
Property values will go down too.
which is
Yeah.
exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting someone's time and money. So is it criminal? Yes. But does it get a 5-year jail term potentially? No.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, do you think a big part of the reason why they might have such a high maximum is not because they necessarily intend to enforce that kind of thing for someone who installs an aimbot and pwns some noobs or whatever,
I mean, my guess.
but for someone
would
who's
be-
creating an enterprise out of it?
Yeah. I mean, my guess is that some person who's just doing something and they think is a joke, they wouldn't get that. They probably. I also read that this was an amendment to something, so maybe there's some other stuff that's punishable by a max 5 years that would be more serious. I mean, I know extremely little about how law in South Korea works, but it reminds me of a case a couple of years ago in Georgia where I think it was a comp sci student at Georgia Tech, and they had just beaten the University of Georgia, which is like one of their big rivals, I think, in the football game, and he hacked into UGA's computer system and put something funny on like one of their like university web pages. It wasn't anything super malicious, but he got charged criminally for that and taken in front of a judge, and it kind of blew up because I think he was facing 5 or 10 years in prison, like at max for that, but of course he didn't get that. The judge was just like, that wasn't good, don't do that again. They put him in like some sort of diversion program and it was okay. But as far as, so this is probably something kind of similar, but I guess
Right.
if it is bad enough, if you're running some sort of huge enterprise, then maybe they could come down on you. So
Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
and there's also the small matter of their president being mired in like in impeachment proceedings now too. So I don't know if that would affect anything, but there you are.
All right, our next topic. Ubisoft executives fined 1.2 million euros for insider trading during
Watch Dogs?
Watch Dogs. It's funny, isn't it funny that it's called Watch Dogs? Is anyone else get a kick out of this?
They should have called the sequel Whistleblowers.
Speaking of, you know what? No, never mind. I was about to say something political, and now I'm not going to. But I don't know. It was. I was gonna poke fun at Hillary for a change. So do you think I'm evening out my karma?
Well, one, no, but I think the more obvious target is Martha Stewart, even though she's not a politician.
Oh no, I was gonna poke fun at Hillary's whole. We need to come down on fake news reporting thing.
I'm not even going to touch that because if you offer an opinion on fake news one way or another, it immediately becomes political. So I'm not going to touch it. But this does remind me of the joke they made on South Park: Martha Stewart living with an electronic ankle bracelet.
Oh yes.
But anyway, yeah.
All right, so basically getting back to our Watch Dogs story here. In mid-November, a French finance regulator had accused 5 Ubisoft executives of insider trading back in 2014, including the head of Ubisoft Montreal. So the Autorité des Marchés Financiers handed down the fine earlier today. Ubisoft has told Kotaku that the publisher will be appealing the judgment. They believe those involved didn't intentionally commit any crime. So the AMF is specifically accusing those execs of having prior knowledge of the Watch Dogs delay and then taking advantage of that privileged information to sell their shares before the value dropped. I sure as hell would have sold my shares before Watch Dogs came out.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm glad I didn't own any Ubisoft shares, and I didn't know it was going to be delayed and it was going to be a terrible port because, then I could be in trouble right now. So the delay announcement caused Ubisoft shares to drop 25% in value back in 2014. Ubisoft is arguing that due to the processes and timetables involved in game development, those involved couldn't have known about the delay at the time that they sold shares. To which I would say, okay, maybe I don't run a major game developer, but to say that at any stage in a project, an executive wouldn't have any ability to find out if, we're somewhat on track or if we're going to be. I mean, how late was Watch Dogs again? I don't remember how late it was. It was like really late. It was really late and really unfinished in a lot of ways, which is another indicator that they were more late than even they ended up being. So to say that, I would have no way of knowing at an early stage in the pipeline of production of a video project of ours, whether it's going to be delayed is just kind of asinine. This just seems like some butt covering because insider trading is sort of a big deal. And based on the 1.2 million euro fine, apparently others agree. So there's that.
That's not a small amount of euros. That's many euros.
That's many euros. That's over 1 million euros. Yeah. Okay, so here is some bad news for Pebble owners specifically and smartwatch enthusiasts in general. If there was any doubt left in your mind that the smartwatch market hasn't taken off the way that smartwatch makers would have liked to believe that it was going to, then this pretty much seals it. Fitbit formally announces that it is buying smartwatch maker Pebble, rumored to be something to the tune of a $40 million acquisition, making it about $15 million more than Casey Neistat's Beam and Casey Neistat. So there you go. In the few years that you existed, Pebble, you at least managed to achieve a higher valuation than Casey Neistat. One person. I'm disappointed. I'm actually disappointed in a lot of things. I'm disappointed in the way that smartwatches haven't taken off the way that I'd like. A more vibrant marketplace means more choice, more options, more development. And right now, like there are certain, like my wife wants a new smartwatch. She's actually running a Pebble Time. No, Pebble Time? Original Pebble? Pebble Time, I think.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, sorry. She's running a Pebble Time, I'm pretty sure. The one with the color e-ink display, the plastic one though, not the steel. And she really likes it, but it's not particularly feminine. And so she's been asking me to find her a really functional,
like a women's smartwatch.
But women's smartwatch. And the Apple Watch is great if you like the iPhone, but my wife doesn't like the iPhone. And right now there are not a ton of great options out there. And one of the things that Pebble was doing differently is they weren't building on Android Wear. So it was actually legitimately different, and it was a pretty good experience on both Android and iOS, at least the last time that I tried it. The other thing I'm disappointed in is how this whole thing is going down with respect to supporting Pebble's existing customers. So let me just see, here we go. So Fitbit acquired the technology, but they are not acquiring the hardware products. So what that effectively means is Pebble is right now, effective like immediately when they announced this, December 7th, 2016, they're no longer promoting, manufacturing, or selling any devices. They'll continue to work as normal. No immediate changes to the Pebble user experience will happen, but, and this is the next bullet point, Pebble functionality or service quality may be reduced in the future. So basically what that means is there will be absolutely zero ongoing development. So Android, what's Oreo or, whatever, what else is O? O desserts. Oregano?
Oregano?
Oh, I wasn't listening to most of what you guys just said.
I was going to say creme brulee, but that doesn't start with an O.
You guys are both awful.
I like creme brulee.
That's not the point. I contribute Oreo. He comes up with oregano, which is the right letter, but a spice.
Oreo.
And you come up with creme brulee, which I don't think has a single O in it.
No, it doesn't. An O dessert. Huh. That's a really good question.
Orange something. You could go orange creamsicle.
Orange creamsicle?
Orange.
Aren't creamsicles orange by definition?
There
I
are
think they
cream
are.
soda and lime flavored ones that are pink and green.
But do you have to append that, and if you just say creamsicle by itself, isn't it understood to be the orange variety?
That is a wonderful question, one that I'm sure no one in our audience cares to know the answer of, and if they did, they would Google it and post it in the Twitch chat,
rude. Okay.
which someone probably will. No, I was discussing it too. I'm just
Hey,
saying maybe we should move on.
orange sorbet. There you go.
Orange sorbet. That's
Yeah.
just, I mean, just putting orange in it is kind of cheating, though. All right, so anyway, Kickstarter backers who haven't received their rewards will get a full refund. It may take up to 10 business days, blah, blah, blah. Orders, including Pebble 2 pre-orders, which have not been charged for, are no longer being accepted. Warranty support, gone. Warranty support no longer available for Pebble watches. This is a crap move, and Fitbit, you guys are not very nice people for doing this, because what nice companies do when they acquire a business is they provide warranty support. And honestly, it's something that wouldn't have been that hard to do. Pebble has existing inventory, presumably, that they are not selling anymore. All you have to do is allocate a little bit of your customer care, like a little hidden part of the website somewhere, and a little corner of your warehouse to Pebble stuff and kind of go, okay, we'll provide warranty support for X amount of time or until all the Pebble products are gone. We'll do our best. We'll provide 90 days or whatever the case may be. Toshiba, when they acquired OCZ, they continued to offer warranty support for the EOL OCZ products. It's, in my opinion, the right thing to do.
Yeah, because at that point, it's your product.
That's right.
So, I mean...
Except that they didn't acquire the hardware products. So I think that's just pretty crappy.
Yeah.
And if you want any third-party accessories, then you can buy them on like Amazon or Gadget Wraps or whatever the case may be. So really don't like the way they handled this. And I'm really not sure what else to say about it. Apparently jobs were offered mostly to software engineers at Pebble. Pebble founder and CEO will not be staying on with Fitbit after the acquisition. Basically, it's largely a grab for Pebble's software assets and platform. Bummer.
Hope your Pebble doesn't break.
Fitbit will at least maintain services so that existing Pebble devices continue to work as normal, but continue to work as normal is sort of a meaningless thing to say because what's as normal? The normal will change as, Oreos and, parfaits and whatever the case may be come out on the Android side of things.
Yeah, think of
least.
a Q dessert. Do they make dessert quiche? Is that a thing, or are they all just savory, like with the cheese and stuff?
I don't know if anyone makes dessert quiche.
Well, think of another Q dessert then, because I got nothing. Can you mix quinoa with sugar? That sounds disgusting, but
That sounds awful.
it does.
Speaking of things that sound not awful, Squarespace. That's right. Squarespace doesn't sound like much of anything. Really? What does Squarespace sound like to you?
It sounds like it reminds me of like a cubicle that you work in because it's square and it's a space that you work in.
I was going to say it sounds like where the cool kids hang out, which is kind of the same thing, I guess.
Oh yeah, let's like
Head
meet
over
up
to
at
the
Squarespace and get totally lit and YOLO and
Get lit.
stuff. I don't know.
So what Squarespace actually is a platform for building your very own website, whether it's for you personally, you want to put up like a portfolio or a blog, or whether it's for like your sports team that you coach on weekends and you got saddled with like, what, I have to create the website for the team? I don't know a bloody thing about website creation. Squarespace makes it easy because their templates all I can't remember how many they have. I think it's like a couple dozen. All of their templates are easy to use and look great. Not just on a square-shaped screen, but also on a rectangular screen. Square, rectangle. They should call it flexible
Quadrilateral space.
Yes, quadrilateral space. I've never actually tried to run a Squarespace site on a circular display, but now I'm tempted.
Yeah, hey, you have your some of the smartwatch faces are circular, not that one.
Yeah,
but
not this one. But,
yeah.
Well, okay, so we're going to put a pin in that one for now. But basically, every website comes with a free online store. They've got their cover pages feature that allows you to build a one-pager in like minutes. And everyone can now publish content in Apple News format directly from their Squarespace blog module, making it available to millions of potential readers. That's not to say that anyone will actually necessarily care about what you're posting in your blog. But if they did, they would have a super convenient way to access it. So you can start a trial with no credit card required and start building your website today. And when you do...
Oh, wait. You should.
There
We're
we
doing
go.
that now.
You should use
I didn't
offer
think we were
code
supposed to say that anymore.
Offer code WAN to get 10% off.
And maybe
your
I'm
first
wrong. I
purchase.
thought we had a directive not
Nope.
to say you should.
You are officially not as good of a Luke as Luke. Sorry, it's official now. But that's okay.
Oh, that was so uncomfortable.
Because
yeah.
you look nice in that shirt. And that's what it is all about for our next spot for MackWeldon.com. Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. Mack Weldon's underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants are super comfortable to wear. We're wearing some of their stuff right now. That is actually in my notes. It's bolded. Colton doesn't trust me at all. He goes out of his way to bold talking points that I'm not allowed to miss. Yes, we are wearing some of their stuff right now. Thank you, Colton. I hate you very much, but it's okay. I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for you, so that's great. They actually, this is probably one of the coolest things they have. They have a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial, which means they help to eliminate odor. That's what actually stinks. Like when you sweat, it's like a bacterial culture that like gets going and gets embedded in the fabrics. This is an interesting story. I wish. Okay, so Mack Weldon will probably watch this spot, which is great. Mm-hmm. So guys, I have a product request because I recently had to buy special laundry, like washing machine detergent for clothing that I own that had become so like permeated with workout.
Like a regular wash, it would just still stink.
Workout stink. No, well, no, not it wouldn't stink. But what would happen with a lot of my workout clothes was they would smell fine when they're dry, and then the second I sweat in them again, it smells like I never washed them at all. It's got like that rank kind of like painful when you inhale it kind of, and it's embarrassing because I'm on a badminton court, right? So I'm like moving around and people are like lunging through my stink whiff, zone thing. And anyway, it's gross. So if they could do like track pants and stuff with the silver infusion, that would be super cool. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got kind of...
No, I can confirm, this feels like springtime fresh right now.
So underwear and shirts, that's good. If anything, more of the same would be great. And they want you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and they'll still refund you. No questions asked. So head over to MackWeldon.com and use offer code TechTips to save 20%.
Do I have to say something this time?
About... Oh, no, it's fine. I gave up on you. You're a lost cause.
Mm-hmm. So you're giving me a preview of my employee review next week. Okay. Awesome. At least I know.
At least you do.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to surprise you. All right, so Tom's has been hard at work benchmarking the snot out of the upcoming Kaby Lake i7 7700K. So we've got some excerpts here, but obviously if you want to see the full numbers, then you should definitely go and check out their review over at tomshardware.com. But there you go. It's a little bit faster in terms of maximum overclocking speed than the 6700K on the same board. So they don't have Z270 boards yet. So we don't know if that'll make much of a difference, but traditionally it hasn't really done a whole heck of a lot. Moving on, power consumption is... Really? Is it that much higher? Wow. Okay, I haven't actually read the review, so that's...
That is not a small delta there.
Interestingly, overclocking it from 4.2 to 4.8 gigahertz doesn't make much of a difference.
A little bit, 15 watts.
But like here, they're pretty close.
Uh-huh.
At stock speed, it's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
And then finally, here's all the rumored, I guess, sort of rumored. I mean, Intel's roadmaps are not exactly rocket science to figure out. Once again, we're going to get 2K SKUs. Once again, they're going to be like a little bit better than or worse than the other, and they will be overclockable. Once again, we are maxing out at 4 cores, and you're going to get, hyper-threading for 8 threads on the i7s. And you know what's really great about all of this for me?
What's really great about all of this for you, Linus?
What is great about this for me is that this video from TechQuickie, the most viewed video ever on TechQuickie, coming up close to the most viewed video I have ever been involved in. I think this is my second most viewed video of all time.
The fire truck.
Fire truck, I believe, is still ahead of it. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Is still valid. 1 to 2.5 year. Wait, 1.5? Hold on. Yes.
That's
2.5 years later, where I explain that Core i3s have 2 threads with hyperthreading, and Core i5s have 4 cores with no hyperthreading, and Core i7s have 4 cores with hyperthreading, or they have more cores up to. I think the one thing that's now wrong is the up to how many cores an i7 can have, because I believe it was either 6 or 8 at the time. And
now it's 10. But I mean, hey, consistency in branding is very important. So
Yes.
there you go.
So thank you, Intel, for maintaining the status quo for the last 2.5 years, so my video can continue to be a rock star, even though the comments under it are astonishingly cancerous. It's funny, anytime a video of ours goes outside of our core viewer base, it is amazing how quickly the like hate comes back.
It's not really that surprising, though.
Honestly, not a good classification. There are several i5 processors out there that
Preform.
the i7.
Boring, dumb video from a guy who looks like he have fake teeth.
Yep. This vid looks like deeply Jine Pleasant.
Janae Pleasant.
Like, I'm not even trying. Linus Tech Tips ripoff. Oh, it's Linus. Oh, Doge Step. Okay, very cool info. We got that. By the way, Linus, it's not gigahertz, it's gigahertz. Also, I can't believe that after the 2-minute mark, you really started explaining the actual topic. This could have been done a lot better. Apparently, I'm looking dandy as F. This guy kind of talks like Popeye.
You talk absolutely nothing like Popeye.
No, I talk absolutely nothing like Popeye. Yeah, so there's that. Pause this video anywhere, and it looks like he's taking it up the bum.
Well, let's see.
Let's try. There's only one way to know for sure if that random person on the internet is right. I mean, it's probably possible.
I believe everything I read on the
All right.
internet.
Okay.
Well, he said at any
try
point,
again.
you just have to... No,
That one's not very good.
So, there.
maybe.
Okay, yeah, there,
Yeah, maybe.
I'd say. Ugh. You look very normal in like the full 2 seconds
Yeah.
before that, and that's the one
So
you
far,
picked.
we're at about 75%.
Yeah, still.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, I gotta give it to random internet commenter number 7 there.
Okay. So I have, as long as, okay, if we're done making like jokes about butt stuff, I have heard a rumor of an unclocked K SKU of a Core i3. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed, but just keep a lookout for that.
An unlocked Core i3 SKU?
Like an i3 whatever K.
Well, they did the Pentium Anniversary Edition before,
Yeah,
so there is
why
a precedent
not?
for
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So that would be pretty cool. So.
All right, I am about to win another bet. So I won my Trump will win the election bet, and I am about to
Who'd
win.
you bet? Oh, it was that other guy.
So yeah, it was.
Because you looked at me,
Senatus.
so.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm about to win my bet about the iCar that I made probably about 8 or 9 years ago. Because I was like, how can Apple continue to increase ASPs? Their laptops already cost as much as a decent car. Maybe they'll just sell cars. I was at Tim Hortons with my camera guy back at NCIX, and I was like, they're going to do a car. And he was like, no. And then my prediction beyond car was house. They're going to do like templatized houses that are all basically the same. And if this house is good enough for Tim Cook, it's good enough for you. They might have like an iHouse and an iHouse Plus. So 2 different sizes. And I think that they are going to fully integrate They're basically controllers that they've managed to hypnotize half the freaking population into carrying around. So they're going to take these and they're going to integrate them with your self-driving car and with your autonomous house, and the whole thing is going to work together like Billio, and damn well you're going to like it. So, yes, can I help you?
I'm taking this home for the laptop video.
Just sign it out, loaned out. We have a system for these things.
The iHouse Plus would have a basement, but the mortgage would be twice as much.
Yeah.
Lenovo phone. Lenovo phone? The
the-
Fab?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure. Someone handed it to me.
Dennis was asking if I had it because it signed out to me or something.
Oh, that makes sense because originally
We have
were gonna
trouble
do that
finding
video.
things
It's
sometimes.
in my office. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know it was signed out to you. The system sort of works. Anyway, so Apple has acknowledged for the first time that they are investing in self-driving car tech. In a letter to U.S. transport regulators, Apple said it was excited about the potential of automated systems in many areas, including transportation, adding there were significant societal benefits of automated vehicles to be realized. Apple has registered several car-related internet domains, including apple.car and apple.auto. We have an Apple Auto Glass here. I wonder if they're going to have to change their name. Company spokesperson for Apple said the letter to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration was prompted by its heavy investment into machine learning and autonomous systems that it wanted to help define the best practices in the industry. The 5-page letter, including written by blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever, I was right. We're all going to find out I was right, and it's going to be great. I'm going to be happy.
You sound like a radio disclaimer.
Yeah, sorry about
Okay, Nostralinus, you have any other predictions about Apple for us?
that. Alex Goes High posted on the forum.
Oh, I guess not.
Windows is coming back to ARM. Yeah, these are my arms. Let's see your arms.
No.
No, all right. Well, Windows is coming back this time with 32-bit x86 compatibility, which is like not good enough, but is a lot closer to where it needs to be. So this is not the first time that Microsoft has been capable of running Windows on an ARM-based machine. In fact, those of you who were around when it happened, the Surface RT was an ARM-powered Windows Microsoft Surface tablet. It was, or 2-in-1 technically, I guess, but it was not a great experience.
It was just called Windows RT. Like it wasn't
Surface
even,
RT.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't a direct.
Oh, the OS was Windows RT.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I said.
So, yeah. No, I was sorry. I was talking
no,
about
it's all
the
good. It's
Surface
fine.
RT.
Yeah.
Running Windows RT.
Windows RT, which
Yes.
they had to change, I think, the code base because it was ARM. Is that right? Or
So
Yeah.
basically it was based on Windows 8, but it could run on ARM, and they ported Microsoft Office. And in fact, they couldn't even sell Surface RTs with an included copy of Microsoft Office, like not a trial. Like they actually included the full Office suite that you could use on it, and it still wasn't enough to make people get into it because it couldn't run regular x86 applications, meaning why am I running Windows at all?
so you're just limited to like maybe some things you could find at the Windows Store and a few other things.
So this is new. Microsoft demos Photoshop running on a Snapdragon 820. Very freaking cool. So this was at the WinHEC hardware conference in Shenzhen, and they announced a range of hardware-driven initiatives to modernize the PC and address two big goals: expanded support for mixed reality, and to produce a range of ever more efficient, mobile, always-connected PCs powered by ARM processors. So Qualcomm-powered Windows 10 PCs will hit the market in 2017 with a full desktop Windows 10 variant coming to ARM. There will be a 64-bit version running on Qualcomm's latest and greatest processors, so presumably the Snapdragon 835. And the way that Microsoft describes it, it will offer a full Windows experience with the ability to run not only universal Windows platform apps from the store, but regular Win32 desktop applications. It'll include built-in emulation for 32-bit x86 applications, and the emulation will be used only for application code. The OS itself and all system libraries will be native 64-bit ARM binaries. Pretty freaking cool. So actually, no, I had misunderstood an earlier part of the note. So no, this is the bomb. So, wow.
How far along, like, do you think the Snapdragon 820 is? Because the reason I'm asking is you talk about the Photoshop demo, which sounds extremely impressive, and it might be, but I do know that there are versions of, I think, Photoshop. I think they had it for like Chromebooks or something, where part of it was cloud processing. So I wonder if it's maybe partially the same thing here. It might not be. I don't know.
I doubt it. I suspect you could, and I think we're going to see more of a move towards offloading processing to the cloud at some point. But right now, it sounds like it's just running natively on the device. I mean, if you're Intel right now, what are you thinking?
Well, let's see. Let's see. It's you're saying a full desktop variant coming to ARM. So I mean, how many SFF PCs or tablets are we going to see necessarily running this? It could be a lot, but is there anything to indicate everyone's just going to pick this up pretty quickly? Or
here's my indication that people are going to pick this up really quickly. The iPhone 7 already, in some benchmarks, performs similarly to the Apple MacBook 2015.
Does anyone need to use the squeegee to scrape off?
I have a scraper, thank you.
I've got a scraper too, yeah, thank you, Edsel. It's snowing outside.
So already in some benchmarks, Apple has caught up to the throttled down performance that you can get out of a very low power Intel processor. And already customers running out and buying the Apple MacBook 2015 have validated that this performance is acceptable for their use. So with hardware offloading of, let's say, HEVC video decode, like some key video decoding, and what else would make it an optimal media consumption device? Let's say the storage controller is still sophisticated enough that you have fast storage performance, so web page loading is really snappy, all that kind of stuff.
That wouldn't be that hard to do, yeah.
Is there any reason for a basic, let's say a Chromebook-like experience but on Windows, or a MacBook-like experience, that you wouldn't say, okay, yeah, no, I know a lot of people who would be totally down for that in a sleek device that lasts for like frickin' 18 to 30 hours on battery or whatever the case may be?
The only thing that I would think of is if you need to run something a little bit more specialized, because although this ARM processor might be awesome, but it's still reduced instruction set. So there are still going to be things that you can't do. It might not even be a question of performance. It might be a question of, there is thing I need to run? Can I even run it at all? But
so they're emulating.
But other than that, yeah.
Which means it could be dog slow.
Yeah.
But it should run.
Yeah. I feel like for mainstream, you'll pardon the expression, but mainstream usage, it might be as good as you're saying. So yeah.
Sheesh. That is pretty exciting. Speaking of pretty exciting, I flipped out when I saw this. Simurg posted it on the forum. Thank you for that. The original article here is from Polygon. Oh. Wow. Nintendo debuted the Switch with Jimmy Fallon, and it's actually a great video. It's NBC, so I suspect, oh wow, it's playing. I'm surprised. Normally NBC stuff I've had trouble with. It ends up region locked. So here I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. We're not gonna play the whole thing, but basically, this isn't even the same clip that I watched.
It's hosted on YouTube.
Where is it? Hold on, where is it? Where does he reveal it? Here we go. So it's under thing. Jimmy Fallon freaks out. I mean, half of it seems to be playing it up for the camera, but that's his job, so I'm not going to criticize him too hard. But there it is. Actual Switch hardware. Holy freaking crap. You fast forward a little bit. There it is. Actually, the next generation Zelda game. I'll give Fallon this. He either is legitimately a Nintendo Zelda fan, or he really did his research. He did a great job of the spot, talking about, he pulled out of his hat, quotes from interviews with Shigeru Miyamoto, like how he had talked about why it was open world and this and that. So he was either very well prepared or he's legit like a Zelda geek. They showed it running in Switch mode, which is really, really impressive to anyone who hasn't already seen an NVIDIA Shield Portable or Shield tablet. And yeah, it looks pretty bananas. There's still a few things I need to know about it. I gotta know how much it weighs before I'm willing to accept this as a mobile gaming system. I want to know what those thumbsticks feel like. But Nintendo has traditionally been pretty good about this.
Yeah.
Have you seen this video?
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I will say just about your comment about the gamepad, the Wii U, which my wife and I have a Wii U, and
wow,
it's the gamepad is much lighter than it looks. So
okay,
yeah, it's worth it just for Mario Kart 8. But actually, that brings me to another question. Do you know if the Switch is going to have any launch exclusives, or is it just going to run Wii U games at first?
I actually don't know. What I heard was that, Zelda Breath of the Wild was going to launch for Wii U first. And then you were going to be able to play it on Switch as well once that launches. But I could be wrong about that.
But yeah.
I haven't been following that closely. The last Zelda game I played was Twilight Princess, so I'm sorry. I've let down everybody. I have let an entire console generation pass me by since I have played through an entire Zelda game. Can you believe Twilight Princess was 10 years ago?
Time flies.
Like, I was playing Wii Sports with my son the other day.
The original Wii Sports?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, my optical drive died, so I actually replaced it. It was like $30 or $40 or something like that. So I replaced it because I was like, I actually invested pretty heavily in the Wii. Like, I have 4 nunchucks. I have 4 Wiimotes. I have 2 classic controllers. Like, I've got a couple of like steering wheel add-ons. Like, I've actually got a bunch of crap for it.
Do you have the Wii Fit fitness pad?
I used to. My wife got it, and she didn't use it.
I have a friend that also got one, and it just sat in the corner collecting dust. So amazing how that happens.
We actually did manage to sell it. So not for what we paid for it, but you know. Anyway, the point is that I've invested kind of heavily in the Wii, and I was kind of thinking, it's not like it's not a novel gaming experience if you've never seen it before. It's the definition of novel. My son loves it. It's like, can we play Wii tennis? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? What else we got here today? Blah 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 blah. Samsung may permanently disable Galaxy Note 7 phones in the US as soon as next week. Original article from The Verge. Apparently, they've gotten back about 90% of the devices, but that means there are literally tens of thousands of people out there who still have not returned their Note 7s. The time to do it is now, because they are actually going to brick your device. You've already had like almost October, November, almost 3 months to deal with it. Deal with it. They're going to modify the software to prevent it from charging. The phone will no longer work, so stop fooling around. There's another rumor here. This one was posted by Good to Foo Friday something, I don't know, whatever. It was posted by a guy on the forum. Rumor has it the Galaxy S8 is not going to feature a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. It looks like the dominoes have already begun to fall. I will talk about this a little bit. So I've actually been using the iPhone 7 as a daily driver for almost a month now, for the last little bit here. Reason being that I've been working on my MacBook Pro review, which I was supposed to shoot today but didn't, but is fully written, so we'll deal with that next week. And I wanted to immerse myself in the Apple ecosystem, and so that combined with my time spent actually reviewing the device, I have a more firm impression of what I think of the whole dongle culture.
Apple being a dongle company that happens to make other stuff now.
That we're heading towards, because it's not just Apple.
Yeah.
So Motorola already has their Z Force, no headphone jack. I forget who it is. It's one of the Xiaomi or one of the Chinese companies has had a phone without a headphone jack for quite some time. And I'll say this: other than one specific use case, which I have found very frustrating. So I actually sleep with my headphones in and
charge
with my
and
phone
play at the same time. Yeah. With
my phone playing in my ears. It helps me stay sleeping when the baby cries at night because I have to work in the morning. My wife deals with her at night. other than that, which has been very frustrating, which is about a $10 solution if you just buy a dongle, it hasn't really bothered me. And this is as someone who doesn't use Bluetooth headphones. With that said, I only recently started carrying my earphones around in a carrying case. So now that I have a carrying case, it's not a lot of extra effort to have a dongle in there for when I'm using the iPhone. But if I wasn't still using a carrying case and I was just throwing my headphones in my pocket still, it would bother me. But as it is, honestly, it really just hasn't been that big of a deal.
You're so organized, Linus.
Well, you have to be when companies don't put ports on their products. I mean, it's the same reason that I carry a dongle for my Razer Blade. The second it didn't have Ethernet, I was like, well, I'm carrying a dongle forever now. And maybe I've just gotten used to it. Maybe we're all just going to get used to spending another $100 on the adapters that we need in order to get the functionality that our products really could have had in the first place if we were willing to compromise a little bit on their thinness and lightness. But I'm not bitter. If I sound bitter, it's because I'm not doing a good job of faking that I'm not a little bit bitter.
Thinner and lighter.
Oh, it's a good thing Luke isn't on the show because it means we can cover this really quickly. Originally posted by Gao Ran on the forum.
Wow.
After the Blizzard shutdown, Legacy World of Warcraft server returns this month.
Yeah.
The Nostalrius team, no longer waiting for Blizzard, helps to launch the spiritual successor. And we've talked plenty about Nostalrius on this show, so we're going to call that pretty much good for today. AT&T to cough up $88 million for cramming mobile customer bills. Original article here is from networkworld.com. Oh, you AT&T. Some 2.7 million AT&T customers will share $88 million in compensation for having had unauthorized third-party changes added to their mobile bills, the FTC announced December 8th. These refunds will represent the most money ever recouped by victims of what is known as mobile cramming, according to the FTC.
So everyone gets like $35 or something. Awesome.
I think it's a little more than that. I'm going to pull out the calculator.
88 divided by 2.7.
32. So you were right. Good work. $32. You're welcome.
I guess you can go to like a primetime movie and get like one of the big drinks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
One big drink.
One big drink. Yeah, I'd actually rather get the popcorn because if you drink the whole big drink, then you have to like go to the bathroom like in the middle of the movie, which is bad.
Terrible.
It's awful.
It's terrible. Like that's the thing about movies is like it's almost like they're timed so that during the climax you're gonna have to go pee, and you can't enjoy it.
This is why I do not spend money on beverages usually at the movies. Not only are they overpriced, but they will detract from your movie watching experience at some point. And if it's something like James Bond, where if you miss like one little bit, you miss the whole thing, then forget it.
This is why I wear a bag on my leg.
So you have the Stadium Pal, where you just carry your urine around strapped to your leg.
I mean, is it really any different from carrying your urine around inside your bladder?
Yes, because because it's outside of your body and it doesn't make a distracting schluck sound when every time you take a step. So,
do you hate people who wear Stadium Pals? Is this a thing? Do you hate these people?
I don't hate those people. I just think they should, go home and rethink their lives. So,
all right. So on that note, thank you for tuning into the WAN show. We will see you guys again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Stay tuned for the broken outro. Yep, that's broken. All right.
Are we doing after party?
We never do anymore because we do this it used to be that we filmed before the end of the day, if I recall correctly, but now we don't. So I actually don't remember when the WAN show broadcast time changed, but
it just kind of happened.
Someone please make a clip of the butt sex scene.
Oh, that thing where the guy said,
"Yeah,
hey.
no, I know what it is." Someone's asking why we didn't talk about Relive. Radeon Relive. Capture, stream, and share your greatest moments in gaming wins with Radeon Relive.
Is it
Modify
pronounced
settings quickly,
Relive?
conveniently, and play seamlessly with the something there. Now we talked about it. Up to 3% impact on frames per second. Major streaming platforms, in-app toolbar, which is just as awful as NVIDIA's by the look of things. I can't believe NVIDIA's redesign of their stupid shadow play settings thing, where it's like these ginormous buttons in the middle of the screen instead of sensible toggles. Custom overlay, features and details, lots of different encoding support, including 2160p 30. That's pretty sexy on the 470 and up. Cool. There you go. Now we did. You're welcome.
Bye.